conservative new media viewers and NBA fans around the world. What is up? It's me, PFE, Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert, and we're here to talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder beat-down loss to the Los Angeles Clippers tonight, 122-105 in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, in Game 1 of the 2014 Western Conference Semifinals. Whew. That was a destruction. And let me just say welcome to all the Jeremy Lin fans. I'm still watching the NBA and I'm still tracking this stuff. And hopefully if I get the opportunity, I will make more Jeremy videos or videos about the team. I just haven't had a chance to do it yet. Okay, let's get back to this game. First of all, if you want to see highlights of this game, we will put information for that in the video description below the video player so you can go and check it out. Let me run through the game stats really quickly just so people that didn't see the game have a feel for what happened here. First of all, the star of the game was Chris Paul, who had 32 points and 10 assists. He shot 12 of 14 from the field, including 8 of 9 from three-point range. He totally dominated this game. Kevin Durant for the Thunder, 25 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Russell Westbrook, 29 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. And that sounds pretty good. But when this game mattered, Chris Paul was really taking it to Russell Westbrook. And we will be talking about that matchup more in a second. The other important stat to note from this game, among others, is that the Clippers as a team shot 15 of 29 from three-point range. So over 50% from three-point range on 29 attempts. That's not going to work very well if you're the Oklahoma City Thunder and you're giving that up. Finally, the other stat that I want to mention here is that the turnovers and the points off of turnovers. The Clippers turned the ball over only 9 times, and they only gave up 10 points from those turnovers, whereas the Thunder turned the ball over 18 times, and the Clippers were able to score 23 points off of those turnovers. So the Thunder were minus 13 in the points off turnovers, and they were minus 18 in points off of made three-pointers. That's pretty much the story of this game. Look, this game was not as close as the final score. At one point in this game, the Clippers were up by 29 points. Chris Paul came out on a mission tonight, and they mentioned this during the game, or they mentioned it at halftime during the broadcast in the United States on TNT television. I believe that Kenny Smith said that Chris Paul takes it personally when he goes up against Russell Westbrook because everybody assumes Russell Westbrook's going to get the better of him and just kind of do whatever he wants. Chris Paul's a very competitive person, and he's also extremely good. I thought that the Clippers had a chance to win this series, but I didn't think they were healthy enough to win it. Chris Paul's been dealing with whatever, a hamstring or a shoulder or both or something like that. I did not think that J.J. Redick has looked like himself since he returned from his back injury. Also, they just are without, I believe, Hedo Turkoglu with his own back injury. So I knew the Clippers were capable of this, but I didn't think they would actually do it. And tonight they did it. There's a couple different problems that the Thunder face when they play the Clippers. Number one, the Thunder like to play run-and-gun style. They like to play freewheeling offense, kind of read and react, not a lot of set plays, and just overwhelm you, particularly in transition. The problem with that against the Clippers is that the Clippers are better at that than almost anybody else. So if the Thunder play that style, they're playing into the Clippers' hands. This happened a couple times when these teams played in the regular season. I can remember one game in particular that took place in Oklahoma City, and a similar thing happened. And so the Thunder must change things up a little bit. They cannot do this strategy over and over again, and it's going to be difficult for them to change it because this is how they play. And what's happened to the Thunder, if you're a fan of the team and you've watched them all year, they get lazy on defense. Even though they have a top 10 defense, they get lazy because they just want to outscore you. Well, if you're playing a team that's like one of the top 2 or so in the league in scoring and offensive rating, you need to play some defense because you're probably not going to outscore them. And that's part of what happened tonight. Another thing that happened tonight was that the Clippers bench outplayed the Thunder's bench. If that happens in this series, if that continues in this series, then Oklahoma City's not going to win. And the reason why I say that is the Thunder rely on 2 to 3 main scorers, mostly Durant and Westbrook, also maybe Serge Ibaka or Reggie Jackson, but they get heavy scoring from those guys. Well, the defense knows that, and you can kind of focus on those guys a little bit. So if you can slow them down or let them get theirs and shut down everybody else, then you have a better chance to beat the Thunder. The Clippers spread the ball around more. You never know who's going to beat you with scoring. Sure, Blake Griffin's going to get his. Chris Paul might get his, or maybe he's going to play assist man that night. But it can come from anywhere. They can get hot from outside. Redick can light you up. Jamal Crawford can light you up. Whoever's hot. And that's better than what the Thunder does, because 5 guys scoring 12 points is better than 2 guys scoring 20 points. And it's just there's more versatility and variety in what the Clippers do. The other thing that the Clippers do extremely well is they defend the three-point line really, really well. And so the Thunder wants to play up and down, and they take a lot of threes. Well, the Clippers are going to get up on you, and you're going to oftentimes miss a lot of threes. So this is not a fluke. Now, the outcome is a bit of a fluke, and Chris Paul's not going to shoot 8 of 9 of threes most nights. And the team of the Clippers as a whole is not going to shoot 50% from 3 in a lot of nights. But the style and what's happening here, the matchups, this is a problem for the Thunder. And it goes back to Scott Brooks, the coach. I'm not going to say that the style they play is wrong or that it's bad. It's not the kind of free-flowing offense, but you have to be able to execute and get good strategy and set plays when you need them. And I don't think the Thunder is very good at that. The Clippers seem better at that than the Thunder is at that. These are all things that have come up for the Thunder all year, and before this, actually. The issue is most teams can't exploit the weaknesses on the Thunder because they're not talented enough to do it. In other words, the Thunder can just play how they play, and they're better than almost every other team. But they might not be able to do that against the Clippers. And that's where the coaching issues might come into play. Blake Griffin his numbers were pretty good tonight. He had over 20 points and maybe like 5 rebounds and 5 assists. He didn't have an incredible game. He doesn't tend to do great against the Thunder, but again, he doesn't have to. If they can win by 17 points and Blake's just kind of meh, that's not good. That's not a good sign for the Thunder. It's also not a good sign if Durant and Westbrook have pretty good games and shoot well and you still get blown out. That's definitely not a good sign. So there are problems now for the Thunder in this series. This is not just a one-game thing. This is a style issue. And so it's going to come back to Scott Brooks and his coaching staff, and they're going to have to figure this out a little bit. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. I'm not going to sit here and tell you the Thunder can't win the series. Of course they can. But this is a problem. This is a real problem. And now the Clippers have home court in this series. And not only do they have home court, as I mentioned in the video description, the Clippers are becoming kind of like America's team or the the team that everybody's rooting for, that's casual fan, because of this whole Donald Sterling issue. It's kind of like, oh, we feel bad for the Clippers, poor guys. Let's root them on. Let's cheer them on. They're becoming the favorite team. And so they've got momentum now, real momentum. They know they can beat this team in the Thunder. And they know they can beat them in Oklahoma City. Not just from tonight. They beat them in the regular season in Oklahoma City, as I mentioned. So OKC has got their work cut out for them. They really have their work cut out for them. And this is going to be a fascinating series. I originally picked this series as Oklahoma City in 7 games on one of the message boards on Real GM, but we'll see. If the Clippers are able to run their offense the way they did tonight, and they play defense the way they did tonight, they've got a great chance to move on. And I know Charles Barkley and some others picked the picked the Clippers to win this series, and that's looking like a pretty good pick right now. So if you're a Thunder fan, go back, get back to the drawing board. Maybe you switch the lineups up a little bit. You got to do something, because the Clippers are a bad matchup for this team. They're a tough matchup for this squad, and you must get more productivity from your bench, particularly the young guys like Reggie Jackson. You need these guys to come through right now. So that is it for now. This was I was a little bit stunned by this. I did not think this was going to happen like this, and it definitely happened. And as I said, this was a mauling. This was a beatdown. And both teams know that going into game number 2, which I think is coming up in 2 days from now. Okay, that is it. Thanks for watching Conservative New Media. Thumbs up, thumbs down, your comments below. Once again, I am Paul Filial, PFE, the NBA expert. We encourage you to come and join the Conservative New Media Facebook group, which you will find information about in the video description below the player. We have over 3,000 members there and growing all the time. Have a great night. The playoffs has been a lot of fun so far, and I'm sure they're only going to get more fun as tomorrow we have the Spurs and Blazers squaring off in Game 1, and also the Miami Heat and the Brooklyn Nets in their Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Semifinals. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon.